welcome to this week's news bulletin from the Christian Institute. A coordinated campaign to change the law is underway by pro-euthanasia activists. Dr. Peter Saunders from the Christian Medical Fellowship says the synchronised assault has been launched on the courts, the media, the medical profession and Parliament. The media have recently featured 2 court cases of people trying to change the law on end-of-life issues, including that of Tony Nicklinson, who has locked-in syndrome and is seeking the right to end his life. And next month, Dignity in Dying, formerly known as the Voluntary Euthanasia Society, will begin a mass lobby of Parliament. Dr. Saunders is concerned.
Any change in the law to allow euthanasia or assisted suicide would put pressure on vulnerable people to end their lives. And these pressures are intensely felt at a time of economic recession, such as we're facing now, when many families and the country itself are under a lot of pressure. The right to die can so easily become the duty to die.
There has also been an attempt to try and shift the policy of the British Medical Association. Professor Raymond Tallis, chairman of Healthcare Professionals for Assisted Dying, tabled a motion at the BMA's annual conference seeking to get the association to drop its opposition to assisted suicide and move to a neutral position on the issue. But Dr. Hamish Meldrum, the BMA's outgoing chairman, was just one of those to speak out passionately against the motion.
I again think that actually adopting a neutral position is probably the worst of all options. I would almost rather see you voting on whether you adopt it for a change or against a change. I think neutrality does tend to exclude us from the argument. It tends to exclude us from an argument that will have a huge bearing on the working lives of doctors.
Evidence from around the world has shown that there are no satisfactory safeguards that would allow this practice to be carried out whilst protecting the most vulnerable members of our society. Therefore, we must be that safeguard. We must protect those people. The medical profession cannot take a neutral stance and wash its hands of the whole affair. We must oppose a change in the law.
I certainly stand for looking after my patients and providing high quality care. I do not consider that killing a patient, whatever the reason is, justified, and that is murder, and I cannot commit that offence.
After delegates from both sides of the debate had spoken, Professor Tallis's motion was put to a vote and overwhelmingly rejected by delegates. Edinburgh City Council has decided to scrap prayers during council meetings and replace them with a pause for reflection. The city's Lord Provost, Donald Wilson, said the new sessions will take place 10 minutes before the start of meetings of the full council and will be genuinely inclusive, providing a time for contemplation open to all staff, councillors and visitors, adding that he aims to ensure the Pause for Reflection programme covers the broadest possible spectrum of faith, community and civic interests. The change was unanimously agreed and follows calls from the National Secular Society, urging councils in Scotland to halt the practice of saying prayers. But critics warn that the decision is a deliberate snub to Scotland's Christian heritage. Mike Judge, spokesman for the Christian Institute, said, "Christianity in this country is fast becoming the religion that dare not speak its name, and you'd think that if anyone needs our prayers, it's politicians." Staying in Scotland, and Cabinet Ministers are set to meet on the 10th of July to discuss the huge response to its public consultation on redefining marriage. Press reports speculate that they will also make a final decision about whether to take forward or drop the controversial idea. First Minister Alex Salmond has said he personally supports redefining marriage, but he did not want opponents to feel ignored. He added, "I am determined in Scotland to have a debate which is worthy of the seriousness of the subject, but also people can have confidence in that their voice is entitled to be heard and has been heard as the process unfolds." Meanwhile, it has come to light that the Westminster government's consultation document on redefining marriage did not use the words children, husband or wife. The 25-page document prepared by the Equalities Office also failed to mention brother, sister and offspring, and only made passing technical references to fathers and mothers. A government drugs advisor has said that young people caught with cannabis should not always face criminal penalties. Professor Les Iverson, who is the chairman of the Advisory Council on the Misuse of Drugs, told a parliamentary inquiry into drugs policy that civil penalties, such as compulsory drug education or temporary driving licence removal, should be considered. Professor Iverson commented, We would like to see less young people given criminal records because that has an impact on the rest of their lives in terms of getting a mortgage, getting a job, a college place. But responding to the comments, Home Secretary Theresa May said, "I have a very tough view on drugs. That view is informed by people I speak to who have seen the damage the drugs have done to people in their family." Last week we told you about an online petition to curb child access to internet pornography. Well, this week the government has announced the launch of a 10-week public consultation on parental internet controls, which will give parents the chance to respond to 3 proposed solutions. Children's Minister Tim Lawton says the internet industry needs to do more to help families control what their kids see online. He added that parents want to take responsibility, but all too often they do not know how because they find the technology too difficult to use or their children are more technically advanced than they are. One of the proposals in the consultation would see internet pornography automatically blocked on computers. The consultation closes on the 6th of September. And finally, one Christian author is aiming to embrace the excitement of next month's Olympic Games and also encourage Christians in their race of faith. Alastair Kirk has published a series of daily Bible readings called Run the Race, which will also be available online during the London Games at runtheracedaily.com. The site will also offer a daily prayer and a summary of the events happening at the Games that day. Mr. Kirk said he's passionate about God's Word and also really enjoys sport, so with the Olympics coming to the UK, he was inspired to take this special opportunity to connect the two. The first section of daily readings is centred on Hebrews 12 verses 1 to 2 and motivates the reader to run with endurance and look unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. Mr. Kirk commented, "The race that Paul and others wrote about wasn't a lonely struggle of self-effort. Their inspired writings reveal an amazing God of love who has provided a way for us to complete the race with honour." Well, that's all for this week. For more details and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.